It is great having Geoff Neal back here on the program. He's coming off a big win last Saturday over Santiago at UFC 269. Geoff, how's it going, man? How are you?
Going good, man. How you doing?
Doing awesome. Congratulations on the victory. I wanted to start there first. Just how much weight has been lifted off your shoulders snapping that 2-fight win streak? Well, losing streak, I should say.
A lot. You know what I mean? I've been fiending for a win for years. Like, it's been 2 years since I got a win. So like, I'm so happy that I finally got to get that feeling again. You know what I mean? Last time I won was in that same arena against Mike Perry. So it was only fitting that I won again in the same arena.
I know this was sort of something that, was sort of leading into the fight, but I know the whole DUI thing, which got sort of blown out of proportion. I'm glad you were able to clarify that on media day, but was that a distraction at all heading into the fight when you're seeing all this stuff on social media, or how did it impact you going in there?
It was kind of a distraction. Like, when it first came out, it was a distraction, you know what I mean? And then the only thing that I was just worried about, like, you know what I mean, during the press conference and stuff like that, I was like, how much are they going to drag that in the mud, you know what I mean? And luckily, nobody really messed with me on that. So like, I'm happy about that. Thanks to the media on that one.
Yeah, no, there you go. Well, were you worried at the time when it happened that the fight would have been called off? Because you never know, it was cutting it close to fight time.
Nah, when it happened, nobody knew about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it was just me, my coach, and certain family members. Like, it was a closed door situation. You know what I mean? The people that needed to know knew, and somehow MMA Junkie got wind of it, and they wanted to post a story. I'm like, you're already like a week and a half late, and you're gonna do this right before like the biggest fight of my life. I'm like, I need to chill out. Like, they didn't want to ask me any like details about it. They just wanted to post their narrative on it, and that kind of pissed me off. But I mean, it is what it is.
The way it read was like DUI plus weapons, but I think people got to remember, you live in Texas, you're allowed to carry, so that's nothing out of the ordinary. But of course, when you read the headline, it looks a lot worse, right?
Yeah. In Texas, like, everybody drives around with a gun. Like, if you'll see 1,000 cars on the road, that's 1,000 guns on the road. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is in Texas. Like, everybody has a gun in their car. They have a gun under their mattress. Like, you know what I mean? It's everywhere.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, let's talk about the fight. One of the things I wanted to ask you going in was, I remember after the Neal Magny fight, you told me, I still don't feel 100% healthy with everything that sort of happened from the year prior with all of your health scares. And this wasn't COVID, it was something else that you were dealing with. But how did you feel in there? Because you look good, but I was just curious from your perspective, how you felt since that whole health thing happened.
I feel 100% better. You know what I mean? I still don't feel like I'm at my peak like I was, you know what I mean? But I really feel like I'm getting there, you know what I mean? Like, I started feeling real amazing towards the end of the camp, and I hadn't felt like that in years, you know what I mean? And I feel like I can just I'm going to keep staying in the gym, keep grinding, and just build off of where I was at before I fought Pons, and just get even better.
Anything about Pons surprised you in the fight that you weren't expecting?
No, it was exactly how I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? He was a little bit more evasive. I think he was ready for my straight. So he has good distance management. So a lot of times I would come forward, he was like all the way out of the way. So it was kind of frustrating in a way. You know what I mean? I probably should have threw more leg kicks, but he ended up kicking me in the leg to the point where I couldn't throw leg kicks anymore. So he won that battle.
One of the highlights of the fight, I think anyways, was Coach Sayif yelling in your face going into that. I think it was the third round. I know he's one of those coaches who's kind of like tough love or whatever, but has he ever spoken to you like that in a fight before?
In a fight, I think he spoke to me like that once in a fight. I forget what fight it was. But I mean, that's normal gym talk right there. Like, that's how he talks to us in the gym all the time. So like, it was nothing new. You know what I mean? I'm used to it. I like it. I welcome it. That's why I chose him to be my head coach, because he knows how to motivate you and get you to dig deep.
Yeah, he tells you like it is. And you're not the first person who said that from Fortis. They like the fact that Sayif is going to be honest with you and kind of give it, give you it straight up, right? How much did that help you going into the round, hearing him kind of pump you up like that?
It helped a lot, you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? You seen the scorecards, you know what I mean? One judge had it going his way, you know what I mean? And in my mind, the whole fight, like, I'm winning, you know what I mean? Like, if he was hitting me, it wasn't hurting me, you know what I mean? Like, I never felt like I was losing. I never felt in danger, you know what I mean? So in my mind, I was winning, and I was kind of just like taking the foot off the gas and just kind of chilling in there. And coach let me know, like, hey, it was like, you need this round, because so, like, you know what I mean, pretty much let me know, like, this fight's not over. It's not guaranteed. You need to take this round. So I had to go out there and I had to take that round.
Did you feel like you were up 2-0 going into the third? Because I think some people watching at home, just being objective here, I think they had it 1-1. How did you score it just going into the third round?
I had it 2-0 in my mind. That's what I'm saying. But like, you know what I mean? I see why people have it 1-1. You know what I mean? Like he had like a kind of takedown. You know what I mean? I was never like, my hips were never all the way on the ground. I just posted and I had a wizard and I was just waiting for him to move to kind of like try to flip him over. And he was more active in the second round for sure. He threw way more punches, but I was defending most of the shots. I was looking at the fight and I was hearing the commentators, oh, he landed this, and then I was like, no, did you not see my hand block it? Did you not? Yeah. But it's hard for them to see from their angle. But yeah, I see why they give him people would give him the second round.
So it goes to the scorecards. You're hearing them read out. How confident were you had the decision? Because again, you never know what the judges, right?
I was 100% confident until I heard that first 29-28 Ponzinibbio. I was like, hold the fuck up. Here we go. I was like, I'm about to get fucked out of the decision. But I was confident until that first scorecard got announced.
And, you know, we can play hypotheticals now because you won the fight. It doesn't matter. But do you feel like if you lost that fight, that would have been it? The UFC would have released you?
Ooh, I don't know.
Hate to look grim, but you're coming off a win now, so we can talk about it, right? We can look, kind of look back here, but because it would have been 3 in a row, right? That's usually the kiss of death.
Yeah, 3 in a row, but I had 5 in a row before, so like, you know what I mean. I would hope they would have gave me more leniency. You know what I mean? It's like, how about we just take him out the rankings? You know what I mean? Drop out of the rankings, let him fight some other up and comers. He wasn't ready for this top 15 lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yeah. To cut me with you. I feel like it would have been unfair in a way, you know what I mean? It's like you just gave me 3 veterans in a row. Both all 3 of the dudes I fought, last 3 dudes I fought have like fucking 15 plus UFC fights apiece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, the only reason I bring that up as well is you got a guy like Kevin Lee who gets released. I know that was somewhat pay related, but still it was like you look at who Kevin lost to. I mean, we're talking really stiff competition. So similar boat to you because one of your losses was a Wonder Boy who's fighting in the co-main event this Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's different. Kevin Lee, I don't know what to say about that. There has to be some background story that nobody really knows about why he got cut, but it couldn't just be off of his quality as a fighter for him getting cut. You know what I mean? How
did you celebrate after the win? Did you get to enjoy yourself on Saturday?
I just chilled. I had to stay my ass in the hotel. I didn't do nothing.
Okay, fair enough.
I did. I hung out with my coach a little bit, but that's about it.
Sayif doesn't strike me as a guy who's like going out and partying. He's probably just sitting back, enjoying maybe a drink or two and watching the fights. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah. And I mean that in a good way. I think that's good. He's one of these grounded guys. What did you think of the main event with Oliveira defeating Poirier? Oliveira was the underdog going into the fight. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I knew that. I thought it was awesome. You know what I mean? I love Dustin. You know what I mean? But more props to Oliveira, man. He deserves it too. So it's one of those fights where I hate and love like the outcome of it. You know what I mean? Like either way, I would have been like, yeah, but then like, oh man, But Dustin will come back. You know what I mean? He'll probably make another run for the belt before he decides to call it quits.
And then got to talk about the co-main event. Juliana Pena defeating Amanda Nunes. I think what was more incredible was the way she beat Amanda. Like she outstruck her and then submitted her. Like what was your reaction seeing that big win?
I was so surprised. Like I did not, because she Pena was saying talking a lot of noise at the press conference. You know what I mean? She was talking real tough and like real aggressive to Amanda, and people usually don't do that. And I guess all that talk was like she was really like, I'm really about to sit here and I'm about to beat you up, and that's what she went out there and did. And I'm like, that was crazy. I'm still surprised. I'm still shocked. I'm like, did that really fucking happen?
Let me ask you this. Do you think COVID played a role at all? Because Amanda did get it, and she did seem to gas out a little bit in that second. Do you think that may have been a factor? Not taking anything away from Juliana, that's just something that people have been saying.
That's possible. You know what I mean? If I was Amanda, I would try to go get some evaluations done, and you know what I mean, to make sure, like, just to see it, like that was a factor, and to prevent that from ever happening again. I wouldn't say that was 100% it, but it could have been.
When are you looking to get back in the cage? I know we're just a couple days removed from the win, but are you looking for something early next year? Or do you want to enjoy the holidays? What's sort of the game plan for you going forward?
I'm going to enjoy the holidays. You know what I mean? That's why I always try to set up fights before Christmas, so I can enjoy Christmas and then enjoy New Year's. And then I'm gonna get back in the gym once I heal up a little bit. You know what I mean? My leg hurts a little bit, so I'm not gonna just run back in the gym and then I'm gonna get back in, and then right after New Year's, I'm gonna hit the gym full swing, and I'm gonna try to get on that February card in Houston.
Oh, of course. I think that's mandatory. If you live in Texas, they should probably put you on that card. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What is the plan for the rest of the week? Like, what do you normally like doing after a fight week? You mentioned you're not going to be in the gym. That's a good chunk of your time normally. So what are you going to be doing this week?
Probably just sleeping, resting. You know what I mean? I'm gonna rest up. I'm trying not to go out like I usually do. So I'm just gonna stay in, rest, get some quality time with my daughter, and then just stay on the grind, stay focused.
And video games, right? You got to play some video games this week.
Forgot about video games. That's a must. I guess I just got done playing before you called me. So
there you go. Don't want to cut too much into the video game time. I know how important that is as a dad because you don't get much time for it. Is there any fights that would interest you in terms of like a fun style matchup? See, I hate saying who do you want next because then people are always like, he's calling him out. But it's like, I always phrase it now as like, what would be a fun matchup for your next opponent?
I don't know. There's so many options, and like even though there's so many options, my options are still limited. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. A lot of the welterweights in our division are kind of like divas, anyways. And they I don't want to fight this guy. I don't want to fight this guy. So it's going to be tough for me to find a matchup. The only person I know that will for sure fight me next week will be somebody like Luque. You know what I mean? And that's a fun style matchup. You know, but I don't know what he wants to do. He's probably looking for a top 5 opponent too. So I don't know if his mind has changed how he usually is, but we'll see. I'm gonna talk to my coach, and we'll formulate a game plan, and we'll see who I step up to next.
And are you renegotiating your contract now? Because don't you have one left? I was trying to remember from the last interview how many more fights you have left.
I think I have one more, and I'm probably not going to try to renegotiate until I finish up that last one.
Interesting. So you want to go into free agency and see what could happen potentially. I know you like the UFC. I'm just saying have some leverage.
Yeah, I just not even leverage it, like, you know what I mean? Because I don't know. We'll see. I really don't know how all that shit works. First of all,
right. Well, usually, the reason I bring it up is because usually you do renegotiate on the last one if you want to stay with the promotion. It's usually the UFC will come to you and say that. I think if they like you anyways. So we'll see.
Hopefully, please, the UFC come and renegotiate.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if you're aware of this, but like Wonderboy's fighting Bilal this weekend. Wonderboy just renegotiated his contract before the fight. This was supposed to be, I think, his last one. So I think that's something that they tend to do is they renegotiate so you don't end up having one more fight or whatever. So we'll see how that unfolds. So it's kind of interesting.
Okay. I got you.
What do you think is next for Usman? Because, Colby's out of the picture now, I would think, at least for now, even though that fight was close. You've got Luque out there. He was the backup for the fight. You've got Leon Edwards, who still hasn't lost, technically, right? What do you think is going to happen with that title picture as someone who probably keeps a close eye on the division?
Man, I don't really care. I haven't been keeping a close eye on the division, to be honest. Like, okay. I just like, cause there's like a lot of drama and like who's gonna fight who. I don't pay attention to that aspect. The only thing I pay attention to is who's fighting. You know what I mean? Once these motherfuckers sign contracts and start fighting, that's the only time I'm gonna watch. You know, so like Usman, it's tough. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know, man. Maybe they're gonna try to catapult Khamzat up there. You know what I mean? He'll get another big fight and then win that fight, and then they'll shoot him over to Usman, so Usman can beat him up. But I don't know.
Well, and I think people want to see Khamzat tested at this point because, great performance in his last fight. He got in and he got out. It's, I think people want to see him fight a well-rounded guy. So do you think that's sort of next for him, is that he'll fight sort of a contender, you think, or do you think he could get the title shot?
It all depends. It's such a weird sport. You know what I mean? It's never just like simple as like, you know what I mean? Number one fights number two and then number two fights number three. You know what I mean? Like, it's always different. So, I mean, I feel like he can. If he wins, if he gets one more fight and he runs through that person, he'll get a title shot for sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Okay, my last question. What is your favorite Christmas movie? I'm sure you're going to watch some during the holiday season. These are the hard-hitting questions that you get in interviews with me.
I really don't have a favorite Christmas movie.
Really?
I don't watch
Okay, interesting.
I'm not a Grinch or anything, but I'm not like super holiday spirit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
not even Die Hard. You won't watch Die Hard during the holiday season?
No, I mean, I don't remember when I watched Die Hard. I barely remember the movie.
But you'll probably be watching some movies or something during the holiday, right? Like, because I mean, that's usually a good time for families together. You want to kind of chill out and stuff. Is that on the agenda, anyways?
That's on the agenda for sure. I just don't have any movies in mind right now.
No worries. Don't worry. I don't think you're a Grinch. It's all good. Geoff, thanks so much for doing this, man. We're looking forward to what's next. And again, congratulations on the victory. Anyone you want to thank, sponsors, social media, you name it, the floor is yours.
No, I just want to thank my team, my coaches, my family, the usual.
Cool. And social media, Hands of Steel, right? On Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, Hand of Steel, HANDZ of Steel. Yeah, on everything.